What's up everyone and welcome back to the channel. It's me, Zachzulu, the Bull, bringing you a video on Infinity Magic Raid, and it is a PvP tier list for global. Okay, there is no mythics in this list. No one has any mythics yet, so until there are mythics then we can readjust things, and as time goes on this whole list will adjust slightly, because as we all know, we go through in time, heroes get patched, and more heroes become viable, because it's just the way the meta changes and people are getting access to more of them. But right now, as it stands, this is how I and a few members of my community view the arena. So remember that all tier lists are my opinion, so you may share a different opinion. I'm fully aware a lot of people don't even like making tier lists because there is so much judgment around them, but I don't care. Like, if you want to grill me, that is absolutely fine. Please grill me. If I'm wrong about something, please tell me, and give your point of view so that I know to tell other people with better knowledge. So we're going to get into it, and we're not going to, like, this A section here, they're just not great in arena. All right, I'm not going to go into why. I mean, like Lamb, you can see, if we look at Lamb, he's a PvE hero, and Nazil just doesn't do enough for me. He's basically, you're relying on his freeze, and he only really shares a majority amount of damage. Timmy is just, he can be used in some PvE content. Carry, like, does a bit of damage. And then obviously she's on the field when she's dead, and she grants 16% crit rate to our allies. But that's not what we don't want. We don't want a dead hero on the field, and it's just not doing enough. Like Grandy, I forget her name, Besmork, Amalek, Hoff, Gunner, maybe. Okay, maybe Gunner he's a new hero to me. He does read really nice. He is built on defense and he deals burn, but damage over time in PvP isn't huge. Okay, you're going to get nuked. We want nukers. We want people who are going to slap you about. All right, and if your hero can be slapped about, it's pointless having a damage over time team. So right now, if you're succeeding with a damage over time team, good for you. But that will change. Mark my words, that will change, and fast. Okay, so you know, we have is it Anna? She is like a detonate kind of thing. She doesn't do enough base damage. I'm forgetting his name. Ellena, she does cleanse and she does do a heal. It's not enough for PvP. As we move up the list into S, this is where things start becoming useful. Okay, things can be used. Let's look at Turf, for instance. Turf is good. He is a good hero. He has a lot of self-sustainability. He self-shields. He self-counters. So he can survive. He can survive on his own. And he can deal a decent amount of damage with his poison and his initial attacks. So that's why he's in S. And he doesn't deserve to be any higher right now. There's just too many better options. We have Sana, who does do some nice damage. She also she increases her own crit rate, so she's self-sustainable too. Once she gets to like exclusive 3, she becomes much more useful because she increases the crit rate of all the allies by 50%. So, you know, it's a time investment thing. It's a time investment thing on when she gets good. I mean, you could put it in now, but there's still better options. She just doesn't deal enough damage alone. She obviously, you know, if she was nuking AoE like a large amount, she just doesn't deal enough on her percentage damage basis to be up the tier list any more than that. There's too many other good options. Hezonja, who is obviously next along here, he's there at the moment because I know he does health burn. I'm aware of that and what I just said about damage over time not being anything. But right now, he deserves to be there because you know, if we're building him with a lot of health and affect it, and if you've got like a survival team going on, you may be able to survive enough to climb arena with him because he's amazing for PvE content. We will do a PvE tier list, just so you know. We will do a PvE tier list. But I think he deserves to be at S because he can do some nice damage if he's given the chance. Now, Aisha reads really nice. The trouble with Aisha is her damage is when if the entire enemy team has full health, that's when she does max damage. But as they start to drop in health, she deals less and less and less damage. That's not useful for us in PvP, especially if we're coming into a quite a stalemate situation where health is reduced and we need one last big nuke. She's not going to cut it. She's not going to cut it. So that's why she's lower. Liz, obviously, I think a lot of you already know. Liz is very good. She shields, she heals, she burns, she cleanses damage over time. So if you're coming into these teams that are using a lot of damage over time, throw Liz in to cleanse that, okay? She'll cleanse that. I think she can cleanse 5 layers of dots. So that's pretty big. How 9000, he can be quite self-sustaining. He has a lot of defense. He can deal some damage. And one-on-one, an enemy is going to have an issue with Hal, especially if he's tanky, really tanky in defense. So yeah, CeeLo, his kit. Alright, this is where some people go, right, okay, you don't know nothing, cousin, you don't know nothing about the game. I haven't tried him, so I can't massively comment on him. But from what I've read on him, it's just not enough. It's not enough. He inflicts chain on a single enemy, 50% chance to inflict provoke. Yeah, but it's a single target. Wait, that's 50% on all enemies, which is 1 turn. He enters commander status during which he is immune to control effects, deals 300% defense damage to targets with chain, so that's the 1. After taking direct damage 5 times, 50% chance to inflict stun for 1 turn. I mean, you're going to need a serious amount of good gear in order for him to protect your team. He does deal some ally protection, but other than that, that is all he has. That is all he has. And he's just not worth, for me right now in Arena, and I hope someone can prove me wrong and say, look, I built Soli. He's amazing. This is how you need to do it. As we move on to Horus, he does deal 3 stages of attack damage to all enemies. It's just not enough. It's just not enough. 50% more damage to targets with less than 50% health. So in a clutch moment when we're low, we were just talking about Aisha. So in a clutch moment, he can be useful. But when they're above that, he's not dealing enough. Again, I'm not saying he's bad. He does have leech rate as well. He is good. He is in S tier here. So he's in like the middle, okay? So if you have got him and that's all you can use, then do use him because he will deal some nasty damage. Just not enough. Not enough when we start going up the list. You will see why. Meliana, who's up next. I got cursed with Meliana on my account. I am using her in PvP and she does help, but she's very support based. She's not going to be a big target nuker. When she deals damage, she will heal a certain percentage to the rest of your team with the damage she deals. She also gives you effect resistance buff, which is 25%. She also gives your team a shield. And remember, shields do stack. So if you like your shields and you're using Wim, maybe you could pair them up, but she doesn't do enough to be higher ranked than this. And I use her, okay? So this isn't biased. I'm not being biased and putting her up high because I use her. I'm saying it because this is where she is. She's S tier. She will help you in other things. So, Zachzulu, he can hit pretty hard. But it's still not enough compared to others. Once again, if you do only have Zachzulu as say, an attacker for your arena, then you can use him, but he's not going to nuke teams down. Don't be alarmed by his massive great sword he has. It still doesn't hit as hard as you think it's gonna. Eric he's a fun hero. He can throw bombs. He deals some burn. We was talking about burn earlier. Still not quite enough for me, especially in arena. All right, because remember this is about just arena. It's not about PvE. It's just arena. It's still not enough in arena for us to do what we want to do. We have Guhanna. We have Guhanna up next, who does restore health by 10% for all allies. She also increases their turn meters, which is really, really nice. All right. She increases their attack rate by 20% for 2 turns as well, which is great. This is great, but she reduces the direct damage that it will take when she survives. And then other than that, she doesn't do anything. So you're counting on those two. So once she's had her turn, that's it. It's like, that's it. So she does a lot. She does do a lot. She does do a lot, but it's not quite... If you had exclusive 1, you could argue that she's SS tier. If you had her exclusive 1, you could argue that Guhanna is SS tier. But Liz removed... It's because at exclusive 1, she reduces 5 layers of dots. Just the same as Liz, right? So when you compare the two, it's tough between Liz and Guhanna, because Liz will still do a decent amount of damage as well with a burn. Hisaro is a bleed unit. He isn't great in PvP. He will die quite quickly. He's not tanky, obviously. And he doesn't nuke hard enough to make him effective long enough. I would much sooner use Holder. Eilat is kind of tanky. She only single target provokes. She does have a damage shield, or a damage reflect, we should say, where she reflects a certain amount. Right now, she's not doing enough for me to rate her higher. Now, Schilder. Schilder is a defense-based hero, the same as HAL 9000. He does have a very interesting kit. It's a very interesting kit, and if you was using a defense-based team, you would pair them up with Schilder, because he increases the defense. He can remove a shield off a certain enemy. So if you're using, say, Hardac, and HAL, Schilder and Sigmund, this is going to increase your defense for everyone a lot. We're going to get to a couple of others in a moment, but that's just a kind of a look to what he does. On his own, he isn't doing enough, and not everyone has a lot of heroes right now, don't forget that. Ariel is nice. She is nice. She self-stealth, she buffs crit rate. She can hit pretty hard. She's pretty squishy. She does die quite easily. That's why she's a bit lower. She's very much paper tank, so she'll hit hard, but not to enough enemies. When we compare with others, she doesn't do enough in her kit for Arena. For me, my opinion. Then we move on from Ariel to Maeve, and they're both pretty similar. They both they're both big target nukers. Maeve, however, can also hypnotize, so she can do a little bit of CC. So she's not only just dealing damage, she's also dealing a bit of control. So she is an S tier to me right now. I'm sure people are going to argue on that one. Maybe she deserves to be an SS, possibly. But again, I would want her to have a couple of exclusives. For that, like exclusive 2 as well, I would start putting Maeve up. So right now, I'm not putting her any higher. Gerina is quite a weird hero. She's kind of new to me, so I don't know a huge amount about her, but she does grant immortal across all your allies. Now, also, when someone dies, she will reduce her health by 20% and revive them with 40% health. If her health is too low, she won't be able to revive. But it's not like a full team revive. It can be pretty scary when it happens, but that seems to be all she has. She does heal herself by 8% when a target dies, which is a bit of self-healing there. If she is having to heal the rest of the team, she does not deal hardly any damage. So now, as we move up to SS tier, this is where our heroes are like, okay, these have got a lot of use. These have got much more use than, say, the S tier. And I can imagine all of you are looking towards Sigmund, because everyone's hyping Sigmund right now, saying how great he is. He is SS for me in Arena. That is because he is health burn. He does, obviously, he's going to be very tanky because he's going to have a lot of defense. So it's going to be kind of hard to kill, especially if someone's got a heal on their team. And a lot of people will target him last. So his damage will tick unless we can kill the team fast enough. So he's not a triple S tier because he's not going to carry your team through Arena by any means. But he is super effective in Arena. he's just not triple S tier. I cannot put him at triple S tier, guys. I just can't. I can't because he's health burn. He's health burn. I've faced him in arena lately, and I've nuked him down. So he's not triple S tier. I'm sorry, people may slate me for that. Whatever. My opinion. My opinion. We next up have Mutu, who can really friggin' hurt your team. All right, as soon as he turns into a werewolf, he's dealing some nasty ass damage. And he will seriously nuke. He can nuke. It's 2 stages of 308% attack damage. You know, that's massive. If you've got him skilled up, it's even more. It's like 470% of attack damage twice. You know, people are talking about Lucifer having 780% attack damage. Mutu is dealing that on his ultimate too, as when he's a werewolf. So that's pretty huge. He even deals more damage as a werewolf when he's as a passive. So that is also increasing. He increases his own attack with a buff, and even his base attack hits really hard, and it also has 15% leech. So Mutu is in SS for me, and I've had troubles with him in Arena 2 lately. He is very strong. Now, as we move on to Lars, he will do it like an instant attack to your whole team, which is 200% damage. Deals an extra damage caps of 300% of his attack. It's 5% of the target's max health, so it can increase, and it has a leech rate too. So it can be pretty nasty for that initial hit. For every 1% health the target loses, Lut's current attack has 0.3% more crit rate before he deals damage. So he's like, he will do a lot of damage, and then he'll buff his crit rate from that. So he's going to have more of a chance to crit. After that, though, he can reduce a bit. His base attack does deal a lot of damage still. His active skill also deals some nice damage, and defense down too. So he can kill. It will kill. So he's SS tier for me. And that's because he just deals a good amount of damage. I know his AoE isn't huge to begin with, but after that, he doesn't drop off. He's very core based. He doesn't drop off. Ellena is basically a holder on steroids. So I know they're in the same bracket. She is better than Holder. She's very much the same. She self-counters, she deals a lot of bleed, and she deals more damage than Holder. But again, she's a legend, so she's harder to obtain. Also, Holder's going to have his exclusives from a lot of people. So we need to take that into consideration as well. She also self-buffs with effect hit up. So, you know, she increases it by 50%. For that turn, or for 2 turns, sorry. So she's dealing a lot of bleed. It's all landing. So she can do a lot. We have Greta, who is a single target nuker. She also freezes, so she can do a lot of CC, and she can hit really hard. She will cause you problems. We have Zyra, who is also she's like the debuff master. She can cause random debuffs to your team. And cause you some issues. She also deals a decent amount of damage. And not only is she doing CC, she's also dealing a bit of damage. All in all, she will fit into your team very nicely for Arena. Okmin, we all have probably heard of Okmin by now. He deals health burn damage, and it can really hurt. The fact is, he's very tanky too. And he deserves to be an SS for now. I know we were saying earlier about health burns not being effective in Arena, but Okmin, he is tanky and he can survive. So you can use Okmin in Arena, but just be warned of those really attacking teams. If you can keep your team alive long enough against those attacking teams, then you'll be fine. If not, then consider looking at something else. Sinton is pretty cool. You need to just stack him in health and defense. He will AoE provoke the enemy team. He can cause issues if you're trying to pinpoint down heroes. You keep him alive. He's gonna help you for Arena quite a bit. Walter deals damage. He also deals poison damage. Obviously he's a poison damage over time dealer. We was talking about health burn. It's the same concept here. He doesn't excel enough in the areas to be triple S, but he will do a lot of damage to the enemy team. from just his base attacks, and then his poisons hopefully stacking up can do enough to help you kill the enemy. Taff. Now, Taff is awesome. I love Taff. He's great. He's great. Not only does he heal, he also stuns the enemy on their next turn, which can be a real big issue if the enemy's using Zyra, because it means that they're stunned by the time after they've self-buffed, and then they go to use their ultimate. It can cause an issue there. He will also cause poisons, and he's an all-rounder, Taff. He is an all-rounder. Now we have Serena, who can really hit hard, and she can be kind of scary. She starts to stack her feathers. She can deal a lot of damage, so be wary of Serena. She can deal a lot of damage. It will hurt if she gets her flying feathers off, alright? So just be aware of her. She's going to take off quite a bit of your health. So try and target Serena if she's your enemy. Try and get rid of her. If you let her live too long, when her feathers stack up, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. Lester speaks for himself. He has an instant AoE, which deals a lot of damage. He also, that's a guaranteed crit. So if you're stacked in crit damage, Lester's going to be nuking down a lot of health off the enemy, and he's epic. He's an epic hero, so he will deal a lot for you. His second ability will cause defense down, which can be nice to pinpoint a target. So Lester deserves to be an SS here. Holder, we just spoke about Ellena. Holders, they're both pretty similar, other than Elena's better. She's better. I mean, Holder does get a lot of leech, so he can self-sustain in Arena. It will help. Obviously, self-counter, and with the exclusives, as soon as he's at 3, he does become much more stronger. So enjoy Holder in Arena, but he isn't a SSS tier. He is good, don't get me wrong. He's very good, and he will cause problems for the enemy, but if they have nukers, then he's not going to do enough. He's not going to do enough. Wim, everyone's loving Wim at the moment, and you're probably thinking, why isn't Wim higher? Because he isn't. He isn't higher because he's not, he's very good, alright, but he's not as good as everyone's raving about right now. And in time, you'll see that. In time, you will see that, because there are ways of getting rid of him even using his ability. And without his shield, he doesn't provide a lot to the team. Right now, though, Wim is amazing. He is doing fantastic for a lot of people, and we said this from the beginning. Even I use Wim, so he is good. He is very good. Later on, though, you're going to see that things will change. Hardac is a defense-based hero. He can deal a lot of damage. He can survive a very long time. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he has a counter as well. Hang on. Okay, so he has 10% more defense, and he won't take crit from enemies whose defense is lower than his own. So he's not going to be taking crit damage, which is huge. He also gains consolidation, which reduces 20% of damage taken. He deals a good amount of damage to a single enemy. He self-buffs shield. He doesn't have, I'm pretty sure there was at one point in time before, I think he had like a counter. They must have removed it. He is a solid epic, and he will do a lot for you in Arena. Trust me, he will help, especially once he's tanky. Once you've got the gear on him, you'll be surprised how much he does. Now, Nid Rold. Nid Rold can, he deals 130% attacks with random enemy 5 times. 4% chance to inflict a layer of bleed, which is nice. The thing is that you're going to want his exclusive, so it increases his attacks. At exclusive 3, it goes up to 8 attacks rather than 5, alright, so it gets pretty nutty then. His passive is it increases the bleed damage dealt by Nid Rold by 15%, and there's a 60% chance to convert direct damage to bleed. So he's got a lot in his set. His second ability will cause an AoE attack, and that again can cause more bleed. And his base attack also causes bleed. So Nid Rold can cause a lot of problems for you if you don't have a cleanser. You're not having a team with much health. So be wary of Nid Rold as well. He is SS for me. He does deal enough to warrant that. Valentin is a very fun hero. He's very fun. He's cast lightning bolts. So he's going to be fun to cast lightning bolts. Now, the lightning bolts have a chance to chain lightning, so they can go on to other characters. And they also reduce the turn meter of the enemies. So in that right, it's very nice because it helps us do a bit of CC. And he does hit very hard. Phocas is amazing, but he is not in SSS tier. And the reason for that is he cannot do anything on his own. He's like an activator for other heroes. His ultimate will increase the turn meter to 100% and reset all ultimates of any of your heroes. So the highest attacking hero will just spank. He will cast, reset it, and he'll spank again. So Phocas is absolutely fantastic. I did debate putting him in SSS, but because of the fact he needs to have an activator, or he's the activator to making someone amazing, he is SS for me. Next up we have Jennifer, and you know what? She can deal some really nasty damage. Especially with bug harm like that. She can really hit hard, and it's actually pretty friggin' scary. So if you need to bring in a nuker, an AoE nuker, definitely try out Jennifer. She is pretty effective. She does do a lot of damage, so definitely she deserves to. She's earned her right in SS tier for me. Other than that, I really don't like her wings, by the way. I really don't like her wings. Nasakhama. Okay. I'm leaving this in a video because you can see, I'm trying to really pronounce that. He is very good in Arena. He will deal AoE attack to all enemies, and he will steal all their buffs. Also resets the duration, so you get the full time of that. He deals a good amount, 200%, up to 260 when he's increased in skill. So he's dealing a nice amount of damage and then stealing everyone's buffs. He also puts in a health connection, a soul connection, should we call it. It deals 30% damage of the damage taken by Nasakhama. It's to the same target he's linked with. So that is also very nice. If someone's trying to nuke him down, he can cause Horrify, which is a bit of control, and he will inflict severe wound, which means that the enemy cannot heal as well. So don't look past him. He is pretty nice. Then that last one in SS tier, before we move up to the beasts, is Alahna. Alahna is a new hero, and he is pretty cool. Those of you who love Wim, beware Alahna, because at exclusive free, he will steal your shields and increase them by 20% of his own max health for his entire team. This sounds scary, right? Not only that, he will heal the entire team to the max health percent hero on your team. So if you have a hero at 90% health, and you've got all the rest of your heroes at 10%, everyone's going to match to 90% when he heals, which is massive. He also gives you an attack buff of it's 40%, which is very large. So that he definitely deserves to be SS tier. So yes, please do use him. Moving on, let's have a look at Space. Space is a very, very, very good support for your entire team. She will increase the turn meter of all your allies. She will heal. She increases the self turn meter by 18% at the beginning of a wave. So to make sure you're going fast, you can also cause speed down too on an enemy, and reducing turn meter on her basic attack. She is just fantastic. You will love Space. As soon as you get Space, use her. Remember, you get her for free after 7 days. Everyone should be using Space unless they have a better replacement. And not a lot of people will. So Space is absolutely fantastic. And the fact you get her for free, is incredible. She is definitely a SSS tier. After that, the next up is Fiona, and she is incredible. She will deal a good amount of damage to the entire enemies. She will have a chance of inflicting stun to absolutely everyone, which can ruin your day. She's immune to control effects. She's just a beast. She restores all health of Eilat. She's just such a great support. If you have Fiona, you need to be using her in Arena. Get her really speedy, and she will help. People will start pairing up Space and Fiona soon, and you're going to be like, I can't beat this team. I can't beat it, not with attackers. It's a nightmare. She will also cleanse an allies. When she cleanses an ally's debuff, she grants them resistance buff, she grants them attack up too, and grants them stealth when she revives a target. Her basic attack will cause inferior severe wounds, so that people are struggling to heal. So again, Fiona definitely deserves to be triple S tier in Arena. She just provides far too much to your team. Meliana is, she's triple S tier as well. She's fantastic in the whole game. She'll turn Valkyrie. She will rip people up. She just does so much. I don't even need to talk about Meliana. You should all know by now how good she is. If you have her, use her, max her, put everything into her. Azir, another one who's absolutely fantastic. She'll self buff her crit rate by 40%, and then she will just absolutely obliterate the enemy with her ultimate. And then if she's exclusive, she will nuke, and then she'll get another chance to nuke, which is fantastic. And it will cause some of the damage, a proportion of the damage to the entire enemy team. So Zyra is a very, very, very good hero. She also deserves to be triple S tier. Margarita, she will nuke. She's very similar to Leicester, okay? Now, if you don't have Margarita, you're going to want to use Leicester. But Margarita will cause a huge AoE damage to your entire team. In fact, she will nearly kill your team if she's strong enough. She gets Blade Storm. She does a lot of damage. So Margarita is definitely triple S tier because she's just so strong and deals so much damage. Dario, again, he is a single target beast. PvP he owns. He's just... If you're coming up against a Dario, good luck. Especially if it's geared right. He's just got the kit. He's got the kit. He gets Shadow Flame, which, it ignores defense, but it can't land a crit, alright? So just build him in attack. If you're building Dario, pure attack, and crit, ignore crit, because he doesn't need it. He doesn't work off of that. He works with Shadow Flame, he just ignores defense. So definitely an SS tier. Catherine, on the other hand, who is up next, that we get from the campaign, she is unbelievable for your team. She will give your whole team counter attack, and just that itself sounds great, right? Giving your whole team counter attack, huge. But there's more. There's more that she does. She gives them a shield, which is 40% of her maximum health, as well as the counter attack at the same time. So everyone gets shielded. Everyone gets counter attack. She restores allies' health at the beginning of each turn. She grants consolidation on all allies for 2 turns on her next skill. And then she can inflict feebleness 2 for 2 turns on a select hero. So she is fantastic. Once you get Catherine, you're going to be using her all day long. Slack, though, is a massive arena hero. He will strip your entire team of all buffs. All buffs. So any buffs you've got, all gone. All gone, and then he'll do a massive nuke. So Slack, though, is a super strong arena hero. He's scary and he looks unbelievable. He is triple S tier. Alec is a new hero. He's a robot. He is a robot. He'll grant all allies consolidation 2 for 2 turns. Just for you know, consolidation reduces 40% of the damage taken. 40% of the damage taken. His passive is it reduces Alec's crit damage received by 20%. Transfers debuffs received by the ally with the highest attack to Alec. So any debuff on your highest attacking hero will be transferred to Alec. It can be triggered 3 times until the start of Alec's next turn. His second ability is increases all allies' defense by 60% and tenacity by 30%. Tenacity, I think it reduced damage taken. It reduces the crit damage taken. Tenacity does 60% up, and then tenacity is up as well. And he can cause stun to a single enemy. He will help keep your team alive. He will help you so much. So definitely, if you have Alec, start using him. He will be great in arena. He is great in arena. He is a triple S tier. So enjoy him. Enjoy him. He is fantastic. Next up, and last but not least in SS tier, is Yoko. And Yoko is another great attacking hero. She can clear you out if your team is too low on health. Basically, an exclusive 1 as well, I'll add. Once she kills with her ultimate, she will go on to the next hero in line and deal 70% of that damage out to the next hero. And if she kills that one, she'll do the same to the next one and the same to the next one. So she can effectively kill your entire team with her ultimate if she's dealing enough damage. And she does really nuke, and she will cause you problems, okay? So be scared of Yoko, the same as you are of Zyra. They're very much on par. Obviously, we have a god tier, and it's a Sindo. Of course, it's a Sindo. Who else but a Sindo? She is the best hero in Arena, in the game. If you have a Sindo, if you're not using her, you need to start using her now, yesterday, because she's just that good. You will not look back. A Sindo will make your life in Arena so much easier. And we just need to focus speed and effect hit on her. Go pure speed. Pure speed for a Sindo. You will never ever look back. She will start the match by doing 200% attack damage to all enemies, 60% chance to inflict silence on them all for one turn, and afterward reduces their turn meters by 10%. And she gains one more turn after that. She gains another turn after that. A passive, she increases the turn meter by 5% and restores her health by a certain percentage when an enemy is inflicted by her control effect, or anyone's control effect for that matter. Her second skill is to deal 300% damage to a single enemy, and it inflicts silence to that enemy. So we get an AoE silence. If anyone resists, she's going to have another chance instantly after that to silence a target of your choice. Basic attack also has a chance to inflict silence for one turn. Also reduces the target's turn meter by 15% if the target is in silent status. So she is so good, and that is why she is god tier. You will. I'm hoping you put her. All of you. I got lucky enough to put her, and she will always be a god in Arena. Always. That will not change ever. She's that good. Okay, guys. So I know that was a little bit. There was a few things there where I had to quickly look, because there is a lot of heroes that we went through. I hope it's helped some of you get a base guide of what's going on. Remember, everything in this video is my opinion, and if you disagree, you can say it in the comments below. I will listen, I will read it, I will have a look. If you've enjoyed what you've watched, make sure you click like, make sure you click subscribe, and then you can see more future content of me covering Infinity Magic Raid. Thank you, everyone. Take care.